Hello guys and welcome here to today's video. Today I'm going to be previewing Manchester United's next game against Newcastle at Old Trafford in the Premier League on Saturday. And you might be thinking, why are you doing a match preview for this game? You've not done match previews for ages. You don't do them for every game. In fact, you've only done them for the big games like the Manchester Derby, the Europa League final, for example, last year. Why are you doing this game? Now, basically, the reason why I'm doing a match preview of this game is because I've actually got tickets to go and watch this match live on Saturday at Old Trafford. And I'm absolutely buzzing, and honestly, I felt like I sort of wanted to make a video and talk about everything I wanted to say regarding Man United, Newcastle, my thoughts and feelings, the team I'd like to see, what I'm sort of thinking about, and obviously, going to the game, I'm really excited. So, I just wanted to sort of, bear in mind this is Man United channel, preview the Manchester United Newcastle game. Also, we've got that added bonus of actually going to it this time. So, we're going to be doing a match preview for Manchester United's game against Newcastle this weekend. In this video, we're going to be talking about Man United's form going into it. We're going to be talking about Pogba. We're going to be talking about Lukaku. We're going to be talking about Newcastle and analysing them a little bit. We're going to be talking about Manchester United's potential 11. We're going to be talking about our head-to-head record against them. We're going to talk about the excitement building ahead of going to this match, and I'm also going to give you my prediction as well. So yeah, it could be quite a long video. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video, and let's get straight into it. So first of all, I'm going to start off by talking about Manchester United's form going into this one. We've only won one of our last 4 Premier League games. Obviously, you might know that. We drew away at Liverpool, we lost away at Huddersfield, we beat Tottenham at home, and obviously recently we've just been beaten by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So, in our last 4 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 defeats, and realistically, that's not really good enough for a team who wants to go and win the title. Okay, yeah, we've had Liverpool away, Chelsea away, and Tottenham at home in those games. And realistically, the only game you could probably say which isn't going to be too much of a test is Huddersfield. But yeah, we lost that anyway. So, they are 4 difficult fixtures. I would just like to sort of say that. So we don't need to start going over the board and say we've only taken 4 points from our last 12. At the end of the day, I'd say 3 of them are very difficult fixtures. And I think Huddersfield, on their day, they can really give you problems, as they did when they beat us. As I said, at the end of the day, can we say it's because of goals drying up? Now, I think you would probably have to say we're not scoring as many goals as we did. At the start of the season, we scored 12 goals in the first 4 games. In this last 4 games, we scored 1 away at Huddersfield, and we scored 1 at home to Tottenham. We scored 2 goals in the last 4 games. That is probably the problem, because I think if we got a goal against, obviously, if we got a goal against Chelsea, we get a draw there. If we get a goal away at Liverpool, we win that one, and we get another one at Huddersfield, we draw. I know you could say that for every game, but I'm just saying, goals have been a problem for Manchester United, and that's one of the reasons why we lose them, because we're not conceding many goals, are we? In those 4 games, we conceded 4 goals. So it's not like the goals are going in past De Gea all the time. It's because we're not scoring goals, And we're not even conceding many. It's just the problem is we just concede maybe the 1 or 2, and obviously that's causing a problem for Manchester United. But at the same time, there's been quite an overreaction. People saying, we're not going to win the title. Look, I'm going to be honest. I said at the start of the season, I can't see us winning the title. I think City will win the title. I think, after the first couple of games, I was still telling myself City are going to win it. Don't get your hopes up too much. And now we're in this situation 11 games in where we're 8 points behind them. And I think 8 points is a huge difference between 2 teams after just 11 games. They've won 9 on the trot. They've only gone 1 game out of their 11 games, which they've not won. So you've got to say City look the real deal. And I think 8 points is going to be very hard to make up. But at the end of the day, there's still 27 games to go. We still have to play City twice. City are still going to have difficult games. They're going to have to slip up at some point. They will have that little bit of a bad run at some point. And as I said, it's up to us to sort of keep the pressure on them and hopefully maybe come out at the end of it. But at the end of the day, out of the top 6, we're above Tottenham, we're above Chelsea, we're above Arsenal, we're above Liverpool. The only team we're not above in the table is City. So at the end of the day, we've got to look at it and say we're 2nd in the league. Last year we finished 6th. The year before that we finished 5th. The year before that we finished 4th. The year before that we finished 7th. So at the end of the day, just take what you've got at the moment, and 2nd isn't too bad. Home form, I swear, was decent. That's another thing I want to talk about. Obviously, this game is playing at Old Trafford. In the Premier League, at Old Trafford this season, at home, United have played 5 games. We've won all 5 games. Scoring 15 goals in those 5 games and conceding none. And I think I saw a stat that Manchester United are the only team to not have conceded a goal in the Premier League at home this season in Europe's top 5 divisions. So that just shows United at home, you know, we've won all 5 of our home games, scoring 15 goals. So we've scored quite a lot of goals at home, and we've not conceded any, and that's in the league as well. So that's not like against teams like Burton in the Carabao Cup. And if you were to add in all competitions, I think we've played 8 games. We've won all 8. You know what I mean? We beat Burton, and you can also add Basel and Benfica into that. So we've played 8 games at Old Trafford in all competitions. We've won all 8, and in the Premier League this season, we've scored 15 and 5 and not conceded at all. And in fact, that's actually the best Premier League home record at the moment. So we actually have the best Premier League home record at the moment, whereas Newcastle's away record's like 5th to lowest. So as I said, you know, you've got to say, I've got to go into this game feeling a bit confident that United have, you know, won all their home games and have the best record at home in the league. So obviously that is a way we've got to look at it. Now we're going to talk about Paul Pogba. Now, you know, there's been so much uncertainty, and at the time of recording this, we still don't know when Pogba is going to come back. There's been reports leaking out that he might be fit for this game. You know, we saw before the Chelsea game, we saw videos of him sort of at Carrington's training ground. We've seen him sort of turning into Carrington. So, you know, you've got to sort of question, is he fit? When will he be fit? Mourinho doesn't know. Is that... I think for me, the fact that Mourinho's not telling us anything, I think is a real trying to sort of, you know, he's trying to sort of make us think that he doesn't know. He's playing mind games, really, to sort of tell us where he doesn't know. But, you know, as I said, we don't know when he's going to come back, but there's a chance he could be back for Saturday. I hope to see him on Saturday because, you know, we're missing him in midfield. We really are. You know, we're not creative enough in midfield, and, you know, I see a lot of people saying, oh, that's because of Herrera and that's because of Mkhitaryan. You know, at the end of the day, Mkhitaryan's not been great. Herrera's not been as good as he was last season. But, you know, don't just blame it on them two. You know what I mean? You could also have a go at, say, Lukaku. You know, he's not been supplying himself. Rashford and Martial. You know, for me, I think those are 2 players who have come on and they've created chances. So we can't criticise them, in my opinion. But, you know, I think overall, collectively, we need to do better going forward in Pogba's absence. Now we're going to go on to Romelu Lukaku because there's been quite a lot about him. You know, he's not scored, I think, is it in 6 or is it 7 games? Has he not scored in 6 or is it 7? I think it might be 7 now. He's not scored in 7 games. I think the last time he scored was against Crystal Palace before the international break last time out. So, you know, as I said, is that anything to worry about? The fact that our £90 million striker isn't scoring goals, which is what we paid him to do. You know, I think... The thing is with Lukaku, yeah, I think we've got a right to criticise him to some extent. Like, don't take me wrong, I think how he started here at Manchester United has been absolutely incredible. His start here was brilliant, and at the moment I've been very happy with what I've got. So I'm not criticising him or anything like that or having a go at him. I'm just saying I think we've got the right to feel a little bit worried. And I think after one game we're allowed to say, oh yeah, no, he didn't have a good game. We can't criticise him and sort of always take it out on him, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? I'll say that the other day Herrera was poor. Lukaku was poor against Chelsea, you know what I mean? And as I said, I don't think Lukaku's been on form at the moment. We've got a right to criticise him, but I don't think, you know, what the media have been saying, Mourinho have been saying, we've not been criticising him like we don't want him here. You know, that's complete, that is bullshit completely. But, you know, I think it's a slight concern, but at the end of the day, I think it's partly down to the fact he's not had the service, he's missing Pogba, but I think at the same time, world-class strikers create their own service. And, you know, I'm not sure whether Lukaku is world-class, because as I said, I think Aguero, Kane, you know, just look at them 2 strikers, for example, they would create their own chances. They would spin the defender and put it in that bottom corner, because they make their own chances, and I think a good striker would make their own chances. And that's not a dig at Lukaku. No, sorry, a world-class striker would make their chances. Because I think Lukaku is a very good striker. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a very good striker. But I still think he's just lacking a little bit of that world-class touch of, you know, scoring goals by creating them himself. I think that's the only thing which lets him down, is that he relies on the service, which is fine. But I think that's why his goals have dried up. And as I said, that's why I feel like we should be a little bit worried, because I feel like he's heavily reliant on someone else to do the work for him to then finish it off. Anyway, let's go on to talk about the opponent then, Newcastle. You know, they've lost 2 of their last 3 Premier League games, 1-0 to Bournemouth and 1-0 to Burnley. Both games 0-0 after about 80 minutes, and then they've lost it right to death. They've only won 1 of their last 6 Premier League games, which I think was against... Crystal Palace, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, they've been criticised for boring because their last 3 games have all finished 1-0. That win against Palace was 1-0. Another game they played was Brighton, which was 1-0. So in their last 6 games, I think they've all ended in 1-0 results, apart from their 2-2 draw against Southampton. So overall, you know, they've been criticised for being boring. And I think when you look at the stats and you break it down, they've only scored 10 goals and they've only conceded 10 goals in 11 games. Now, as I said, conceding 10 goals for a newly promoted, you know, that's very good. And like, you got to be honest here and say Newcastle, you know, their boss Rafa Benitez, you know, he really is a really good manager at sort of getting them organised and well drilled at the back. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, their away form's not been great. You know, they've only won one game, I think it is, away from home on the road, away at Swansea this season, where most teams have gone and won. So, you know, at the end of the day, Newcastle, you know, they can blow hot and cold. They don't score many goals. They don't concede many goals. Most of their games end very boring 1-0 results either way. They're 11th in the league, so it's really hard to sort of analyse this Newcastle team because, as I said, you know, sometimes they come out and play attacking football like they did against West Ham, and sometimes they come back out and play defensive. But I think Rafa Benitez really is going to come here, set up defensively, and come out here and try and get something in terms of a draw maybe. They don't, as I said, they don't score, they don't concede many. So it'll be really interesting to see how many goals they do score, how many goals they do concede, and that this season, because at the moment, you know, as I said, people are criticising them and saying they're boring. So anyway, moving on now to my Manchester United starting XI. So this is the team I'd quite like Manchester United to go with on Saturday against Newcastle. So in goal, I was going to go with David De Gea. I think David De Gea has to start this game, you know, just because he's the best goalkeeper in the league. You know, Romero. You know, I'd stick him in goal for the Basel Champions League game coming up. But I put David De Gea in goal for this one. At the back, I'd go with a 4-3-1-2. So then we've got like enough in that midfield, but then we've got one more going forward and then 2 up the top. In defence, I've gone with Valencia at right back and Bailly and Jones at centre back. It would be nice to have Ryoho back, but I don't think he's going to be back for this game. If he is, he's not going to be fully fit. He won't get the full 90 in, so we might as well go Jones because he's been so great this season so far. And then I've gone with Ashley Young at the back as well, at left back, because he's very good at crossing the ball. So my back 4 is Young, Jones, Bailly and Valencia. Then my midfield 3 is Herrera, Matic, and then I sort of want to go with Mata, because I think that would be nice. I sort of want to say Pogba, but as I said, there's no guarantee he'll play. I think the likelihood it'll probably be Fellaini, and it'll probably be a midfield 3 of Herrera, Matic and Fellaini. Obviously, there's no guarantee in that, but I would quite like to see it maybe be Herrera, Matic and Mata. I think that would be quite nice because you've got that sort of balance of going forward and going, going backwards and defending. You sort of got that sort of option there. Obviously, as I said, if I had to pick it, I would love to have put Pogba in that position, but I'm going to go with Herrera, Mata, and Matic, and then I'm going to put Mkhitaryan just ahead. I think if Mkhitaryan, you know, it's difficult because, as I said, I've been criticising him. He's not been great recently, and he still keeps getting picked. I think this is a difficult one. If Mata isn't in that midfield 3, then I would put Fellaini or Pogba fit in that 3, and then put Mata in just the one ahead, or you know, even more so, put Pogba in that position and then bring sort of Mata and Fellaini in that midfield. So as I said, if all are fit, then I'd go Herrera, Matic, and then Mata, and then just ahead I'd go Pogba. However, because obviously we don't know whether Pogba will be fit, I'm going to go with Herrera, Matic and Mata with Mkhitaryan just in front. If he goes with Fellaini over Mata, then I'd say go with Mata ahead. But as I said, I think the chances are he will probably go Herrera, Matic, Mata, and then Mkhitaryan ahead. I don't know. Actually, he'll probably go Fellaini, but as I said, that's the midfield I'd quite like to see. Herrera, Matic, and Mata, Mkhitaryan just ahead. But I'd quite like to see Mata get a game this time. And then up top, I'm going to go with Lukaku and Martial. I think, you know, Martial at the end of the day, you know, let's give him a go up front, give him that little bit of service with Lukaku, and I think, you know, them two can do the deal up top. And then I think at the end of the day, if Lukaku's not performing again, then bring on Rashford and play the 2 up top as Rashford and Martial. That is something which could be very problematic for this Newcastle team, and that would be very interesting to see as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Anyway, head-to-head record with Newcastle. Manchester United have played 44 games against Newcastle in the Premier League, winning 25 of them, drawing 14, losing 5. 13 home wins from 14 matches. So in the 14 games between United and Newcastle at Old Trafford, United have won 13 of them. Newcastle have won just one. And in fact, the last 3 matches between United and Newcastle at Old Trafford in the Premier League, the last one finished 0-0, which was 2 seasons ago. The one before that finished 3-1, which was 3 seasons ago, and then we also lost 1-0 at home to Newcastle 4 seasons ago, which was, as I said, that defeat which I mentioned. So last three games between United and Newcastle at Old Trafford, we've seen a Manchester United win, we've seen a Newcastle win, and we've seen a draw. And as I said, last result was a 0-0. The one before that was a 3-1. The one before that was a 1-0 defeat. Please do not make it a 0-0 or a 1-0 defeat this time. I would just give us that 3-1 victory. That is what we want to see. We want to see us win 3-1. Yeah, 3-0 would be even nicer. But as I said, I don't want to see a 0-0 draw or a 1-0 defeat. I really don't. But yeah, no, that is the head-to-head record between the two teams. Played 44, won 25, drawn 14, lost 5. So anyway, as I said, the reason why I was doing this preview was because, as I said, I'm going to see the match. I've got the tickets to this game, and I'm really, really excited. I'm absolutely buzzing. I just can't wait now. As I said, I've got the tickets 5 months ago. I think the fixtures got released in June. I waited like 4 hours in the queue. We got the tickets. It's been 5 whole months since that day. We've then had the whole international break. It has dragged a little bit. So yeah, no, I'm just raring to go now. I'm eager to get ourselves down to Old Trafford to watch this game. As I said, it's all about the experience. It's all about going to see United live, that atmosphere. As I said, if I really, really have to ask for something, it would be to see a really good game, to see United win, and also to have a really good experience, and also to be a good atmosphere at Old Trafford as well, where we're roaring our team forward. And that would be what I'd really like to see. So yeah, this is all about the experience as well as the result. Obviously, it'd be lovely if we can get a result, but whatever the result is on the day, I'm not going to let it ruin the experience of the day. And as I said, this will be hopefully the first of many games to come. I hope. But I'll go to many more next season, the year after, and then it'll just continue in a chain. But as I said, hopefully we'll get a victory. Hopefully, whatever the result is on the day, whether it's a draw, whether it's a defeat, it won't ruin. I'm not going to let it ruin the experience of going and watch United at Old Trafford. So I'm just going to enjoy every moment I can before the full-time whistle, and then hopefully the full-time result will be good, so I can even enjoy it even more. But if it isn't, then at the end of the day, it's one game in it. So prediction-wise, as I said, United, they don't concede many goals at Old Trafford. Newcastle, they don't score many goals, so I can't really see Newcastle getting a lot of goals or United conceding in this one. So I don't think Newcastle will score any more than 1. I can't see that happening. So I actually think Newcastle aren't going to score. I think United will get a clean sheet. Then it comes down to how Newcastle set up. I think if Newcastle go at United a bit more, like sort of Tottenham did the other week, I think United will win this game. But as I said, I think Newcastle, being the boring side which they are branded, I think they're going to go here. They're going to sit back, they're going to defend, and they're going to come here and try and draw and maybe get a result on the counter. But with Rafa Benitez, I can really see them coming to Old Trafford for this game, sitting behind, with most of their men behind the ball, and just not letting anyone through. I can really see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised. So, as I said, because they don't score many, because United don't concede many, I can't see Newcastle getting many goals. And I think, as you said, United haven't been scoring many goals of late. I think Newcastle will be well drilled, organised. They've got 2 weeks to prepare for this game. They're going to be really, really sitting back. And I can really, unfortunately, I can see this being one of these stalemates where United just can't find a goal. Hopefully not. So yeah, my head, thinking about taking all that into account, taking the fact that omens, head-to-heads, lineups, injuries, form, I think it's going to be a 0-0 draw, but my heart says 1-0 to United. So I'm not going to say which one overrules because I don't know, but I think my head is saying 0-0. My heart is saying 1-0 United, but either way, I can't see this game having many goals, and I think it'll probably be a 1 goal, or if not, a goalless stalemate. So yeah, let's have a look anyway. So anyway, Manchester United versus Newcastle this Saturday, live at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Let's get going now. So anyway, thank you for watching this match preview. Hopefully United will get the 3 points and we'll be sitting here very happy when we come back. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you later.